Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another color along video and I'm excited because this is my first page in my new Princess's Tome 2. So I already have started this page, but it was a really fun one, so I wanted to try to do some of it with you guys. So it is a double page. And it is 15 and 16, and it is Ariel. I already have probably about half done, maybe a little less than half. So I'm excited just to kind of talk, give you some advice on, I don't even know, random stuff. We'll see what I come up with. Okay, and again, as you guys know, I do my best to give you good views of what I'm coloring, but it definitely is hard knowing like if I need to be closer, if I need to be farther away. I'm sure people have their, preferences, but I'm starting at the bottom, and this is with my Languo gel pen. I have the sticky tack on the end, and yeah, let's go. So one of the main reasons I wanted to do this with you guys was, well, at least this video, was this page has a ton of colors. I don't know if you can see, but it has like all of these are signs and then all the numbers and letters. So there are loads and loads of colors. So I got a question a couple weeks ago. I don't remember. I think it was on YouTube. It may have been on my TikTok, but pretty sure it was YouTube, asking about how I decide which brand of marker to use, which medium I decide to use, because I do have so many acrylic paint markers. I think they were just specifically asking like what acrylic based markers, what makes me decide. So there are a couple different reasons why I choose a certain marker. So the main reason why I'll choose a marker is just because of how close it matches the shade on the page. So that is also why I have a ton of markers, is because I want to get the closest shade. So if one shade is super close to a guangna, I'll use the guangna. If it's a Tooli art, then I'll use a Tooli art. So basically I cross over between brands mainly because one brand is not going to have every single shade that a page like this requires. So that's why on this page you'll see me use Tooli art. I don't know if I have any guangna. I might. I definitely have Tooli art and Languo gel pens. Those are my two that I'm mixing on here. So, and those two brands mix pretty well. The Languos are definitely cleaner. Like this tail is Languo. This is Tooli art. You can see this Tooli art didn't mix the paint super well, but honestly, it looks good enough that I'm not going to go over it. But yeah, so the shade is my main reasoning for why I choose a marker. And why I'm not afraid to cross over with Languo, guangna, Tooli art, like gel pens, all that. Because all in all, it is acrylic paint. So they're all gonna look pretty similar. There are brands that I don't mention as much, like Grabby is also up there in like one of my favorites. But like Arteza, I use a handful of times. Arctics, those brands like are nice, but I don't typically shoot for those very often because the quality isn't as high in my opinion. A lot of people would say the same about Tooli art, but I don't know. I'm a Tooli art fan normally. Depends on the shades. So yeah, the second reason that I mix up brands is because of the size or the like surface area that the number calls for. So if it's a super large area, I like the brush markers. Okay, so when I've been using this Languo for a while. I kind of have to take this off and push it back in, just to reset the paint flow, by the way. But it kind of depends on the space. So if I have a big space, like typically backgrounds, skies, large dresses, stuff like that, I do like using guangna because it doesn't take as long because the nib is so big, versus obviously these tiny gel pens take forever. So I don't like to use them on big spaces. Like even this tail was kind of pushing it for my gel pens. I was like, why did I choose that? But it was because the shade was best. I didn't have a light green like that in anything else. So the spacing, whatever it calls for, I would say I go more towards the smaller end if I have to choose, just because I like things being more detailed. If I had to choose between guangna and something else like a Tooli art or a gel pen, I would go for the gel pen, just because the smaller the better in my opinion, because you can be more precise. And obviously if I have a super detailed page like this castle would have been impossible to do with a guangna. I'm just not, I mean, I'm sure people are doing it, but like I'm not zoomed in all the way, but you're able to see when this is zoomed out at a normal like eye level that it is very small. And if I wouldn't have been able to use my gel pens, it would have come out very sloppy. So yeah, the space in which the color calls for is definitely dependent on which brand I use. And that's why, I'm comfortable mixing. I would say shades, a third reason is just to get use out of different, let me zoom you out. Oh, here I am. To get use out of different brands is another reason why I would choose to use, different brands, if that makes sense. So I don't want to rely completely and wholly on my Tooli art and not use the other pens that I have purchased with my own money. Like that would just be a waste of money. And I don't think anyone is a fan of wasting money, or at least I'm not. So that is why I'll sometimes bring out like AliExpress pens, because I did buy them and I need to use them. And if they match a shade, then I'm all for it. Even if I have to go over once or twice because the quality isn't as high, I like getting use out of different brands. This is gray Tooli art, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say that. I'm kind of just hopping around this page. I am finding that I'm working more on this page than I am up here, which is fine. I started with coloring Ariel in, like completely, like her whole body and stuff, for the sake of a TikTok, just because I like when the character is like fully colored when you open it up. Sometimes, just depends. Sometimes I do it blank when I open it. But yeah, so that's why she was completely colored on the top. I am so excited for this book. I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. It's very nice. I will say, if I'm being critical, the only thing I'm unhappy, I love the illustrations in here. I love the colorfulness. I love the different, diverse group of princesses and their different backgrounds and whatnot. The only thing I would change would be their faces. This Ariel turned out cute, like the one I just did, but a lot of the faces, when you look in the back, I don't know what it is, if it's not enough detail, or it's just, might just be the artist's style. I'm just not a fan of. It didn't deter me by any means from getting this book, but like, it's just a personal thing. Like, I don't know if this is the same artist, or maybe it is and his style evolved, but I just was not excited about the way some of these girls' faces looked. Like Jasmine, I don't know if it's their lips or their noses, but the style is different from Princess's Tomb 1, like the original Princess's book. Again, is fine, but I'm just being very picky right now and saying that I prefer the other way if I had to choose. But I guess it does differentiate the two books. You kind of know based on that style which book you're getting a page from. And of course, I am so glad that this has double pages. I'm a huge double page fangirl because it means more detail, and I tend to like the more detailed ones. So for the middle parts, I just like push really hard and try to get as close as I can to the middle section, because that is hard with double pages for some people. Like, it looks pretty seamless like this, but you have to definitely like get in the middle and try to finesse that. Okay, let me do a fish up here. Oh, let's do this turtle guy up here. So sorry, the numbers are actually this way, I think, because it's supposed to orient this way. Normally the numbers and the letters are facing down so they can like match this. So hopefully you guys aren't upset by that. Okay, I have this Languo gel pen and then this one as well. For these two colors that I'm about to do, it'll be U and W. I'm trying to think of more questions that I have received in the past week or two since I uploaded. I don't know. Right now, I'm really just trying. I moved. I'm sure, my regular watchers knew that. I moved to a new house, and so I had to redo my coloring area, and I just got my new desk. It is larger, which is nice. I can keep my markers on the desk instead of all separate from this area. So that is nice, but it is like hard adjusting to a new space with filming, at least. I'm fine. I'm completely fine here coloring, but it's like I had to get a new ring light because my son pulled my other one and the cord like shorted somewhere so it wouldn't turn on. And it was the one that came with my tripod. And right now I have like a desk tripod, so you guys are attached to my desk, which is fine as my setup. But my light is now separate, so I have to make sure I orient both of them to look the best that I can. I love the way these gel pens color. I will always be a fan. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I am trying not to buy a ton of more markers because I did just do my setup and there's really not space. There's definitely no more space on my desk. And so the overflow is going to my bookshelf because I just don't want to keep my markers on the ground. Because then, I could never stop because I have so much room on the ground. So I'm trying to hold back because all of these brands are coming out with great new products. Like the one right now that I'm trying not to buy is the Guangna like pens, like gel pens. They're also kind of expensive. All of the ones I've seen have been like around $12, which these for a pack of 9 are around $3 or $4. And so I think the Guangna are maybe 11 or 12. So you do get more and you get more paint within the pen. But it's so hard because I'm like, yeah, I need more shades, blah, blah, blah. But I have so many. So I kind of just need to cut myself off. And now also I like buying new products so I can give you guys reviews when they do come out because, I'm sure you guys are wondering if it's worth it or not too. So I'm like, yeah, well, it's for YouTube. But honestly, I don't think I'm at that point where I genuinely, like kind of like how makeup artists need to buy the new makeup that comes out. I don't think I'm really at that point to justify buying things just for my YouTube channel, you know? Maybe if I get 1,000 or 2,000 more followers or subscribers, that would be justified. But I am still, you know, it's still kind of like my hobby. This is definitely not my job. So, although it would be nice. I kind of messed up there. I'll just have to fix that with the black outline. So yeah, so I do aspire maybe to make this at least maybe a part-time job, because now it's just a hobby. I mean, obviously coloring will always be a hobby, but YouTube is still a hobby right now as well. And I like the coloring community too, because everyone is so nice. Like, I shouldn't say this because I'm gonna jinx myself, but I don't really get rude comments, which is nice. Everyone's very positive and uplifting. And I just think that's because it's coloring. It's not serious. It's not really opinionated. I mean, obviously, professionals maybe have some opinions, but, you know, this is all hobbyists, and it's Disney. Like, definitely brings out the kid and the kind of wonder in people. I'm very excited. I've ordered some new books. So that video will be coming out when the books arrive, because they haven't even come out, I don't think. I think they come out at the end of the month, and I pre-ordered them. So be on the lookout for that. I'll have like a September coloring book haul, because this one came, I just got the Pokemon in today, which I'm so excited about. I was a Pokemon kid when I was little, so now as an adult, it's kind of funny that it came out, or it's crossing over into this like adult hobby of coloring. And I looked at the pages and it's really nice. I should probably do a flip through. I haven't seen a lot of flip throughs because it is maybe a little more niche. A lot of people have been doing this book flip through, like of Princesses 2, because I think everyone is gonna love it. Okay, sorry, I have never had this happen before. My phone like overheated, or is currently overheating, and so the flashlight on my phone turned off, which is also like an adjustment thing I've had to use with this new light, because it won't reach as far. So sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep filming. I just did this little orange area, and then I'm going in with another Languo gel pen. So what was I saying? Talking about Pokemon, yeah. So be on the lookout for more of those videos with Pokemon, because my sister also got it. I don't know if we're gonna do it as a project. It is more fun doing pages with other people, just because coloring kind of is an individual, it is an individual thing. And so doing it with other people, kind of feel like, yeah, you're included in something else. I don't know what I'm saying. And it's fun because at the end of, when we film our finished pages for the year, it will be fun to have multiple pages that we can show at the same time that both of us have done. Not to necessarily compare, but just to see two different people have the same page done. I am kind of what am I trying to say? I don't know. Let me move on to the next thing, and then I'll maybe think of it. The next cool thing is this like circle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you though, because I have to move it up so much. Okay, So this is yet again another gel pen. Sorry, but this is what's happening. Hopefully you don't mind seeing these. What I was trying to say was, I think it's interesting that all of these brands are coming out with gel pens that are typically like, you know, they're art supplies brands and they have markers and stuff. I think it's funny that gel pens are the new trend, because like, who thought of that? Like, jelly rolls were a thing when I was little, like the little, you know, gel pens. And I never would have thought to use them for coloring because they were so fine tip. But someone decided that it would be a good idea, which I'm thankful for because I love using these. But it's just funny that someone, you know, thought of making them with acrylic paint, and just people figured out how to use them in these books. Because with the cap on, I can't really use these very well. So, but with the tack on, the paint comes out great, and it's very even. Like, you only need one layer. So I just think it's funny that like Guana's coming out with some after Languo, and then I'm sure there'll be other brands. I'm sure there are some on TikTok even. Let me zoom you guys in. There we go. I'm sure there's some on Shein and stuff that I haven't even seen yet. But yeah, that's what I was trying to say, was that it's funny that this is a trend. It's a good trend, but I'll never forget when I found, I mean, I do kind of forget when, but oh my gosh, can't even speak today. I am so thankful that I found whatever creator or whoever who decided to use these acrylic base markers in these books, because I was using like Statler, and which are nice water-based markers, and other water-based markers in these books. Also, you know, Crayola, tried and true Crayola. But they just did not look great, especially looking back. At the time, I had no issue with them. I still don't really have a huge issue if people use them well. It's just a very hard technique to make look good. So when I found acrylic paint markers, I was blown away with how much better it looks. And there is definitely a learning curve with any new medium. Like even these gel pens, there's a huge learning curve. But once you get the hang of it, it is just so much nicer. I'm trying to convince my sister to use more of these. But she's happy with her Guangna set, I think. As she should be, as a normal person. I definitely have taken this hobby far in its bounds, which is fine. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So this will probably be the last section, just because I am having some issues with my phone. I think it's also low battery, so I don't want it to die and not have like an outro filmed, because that would stink. I could always film it later, but yeah, this will probably be the last little section here. Another tip that I think I forgot to mention earlier with like mixing mediums is, with these gel pens, you do not have to do 2 layers. So you need to make sure that it's nice and even when it's like wet, because once it dries, you can't go over it. It just scratches out the, you know, the paint that's already there. Like, you can't do a second layer. I have tried with sections that like kind of look bad, and you can kind of finesse like by dotting, but honestly, it's just such a headache. And so it's kind of a nice thing because you don't have to go back over, but it's not a nice thing when you realize that you've missed spots or it's already scratchy from the first layer and you can't really fix it. So That's my tip with these gel pens. And it's also hard for these my Posca like outlining black marker to go over these as well. So I really have to be careful when I do my black outline. Normally I can not be lazy, but it's okay because it's black and it's the outline it'll cover, but not these gel pens. It kind of just scratches the same thing. So I could probably try to find a better black outlining tool. I just really like my Poscas because that's what I've been using for forever. I also like when I'm doing huge pages like this, going in with my lighter colors first and then doing my darker colors, because the darker will cover the lighter if there's a mistake. And it's less so with these gel pens, like I said, because if you accidentally go over it, it'll just scratch it up. But with like Tooli arts and other like Guangna and stuff especially, if I haven't done a crisp line where it should be, then when I start with the lighter one, I can go over it and make it crisper, more crispy with my darker color, because obviously dark covers light better than the light covers the dark. So that's just a preference thing. Other people have their methods of, you know, coloring pages, but if you haven't thought of that, that's also why I saved the black outline for the very last as well. So, alrighty. Let me zoom you guys back out so you can see what we're working with. Didn't get a whole lot done. Got a lot of this turtle done, which is good. Sorry, readjusting the light so it's easier. Got that turtle done, and as you can see how detailed the castle is. Like, this is a whole page. It doesn't feel like it because, you know, it's a double page, but yeah, these super small lines, and even looking at it, you can tell that I messed up some because some of it is Tooli art, like this color, this purple is Tooli art, and it was overflowing, so I had some issues with that one. But the lighter blue and the darkest color are the gel pens, and I think they work out really well. So thank you guys for watching this color along. I hope you learned some new stuff, and let me know if you guys have picked up this Princesses 2 book and what page you're doing. So, because I'm excited to see everyone crack open this book and get stuff done. So yeah, I will see you in my next video. Bye.